Hello, and welcome to the only show on my channel that's topical. Today I'm bringing you a card that isn't even available yet. It's a card that's so fresh, so new, that there are probably combos out there that we don't even know about. And that wonderful card is Prime Speaker Vannifar. For 2, a green and a blue, you get a 2/4 legendary Elf Ooze Wizard. Yes, you read that right. That has the ability that you can tap her and sack another creature to search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1, plus the sacrifice creature's converted mana cost, and put that card onto the battlefield. But you can only do this at sorcery speed. So Vannifar is basically Birthing Pod on a legendary creature, which is pretty good considering how Birthing Pod is banned in Modern. The biggest argument against her is that she doesn't have haste, so you gotta wait a turn before you can use her ability. Now there are plenty of things that give haste, especially in the commander format, like 1000-Year Elixir and Swiftfoot Boots, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Now even though Vannifar was just spoiled, there are already some pretty crazy combos that I found. First one being with Intruder Alarm. For 2 and a blue, you get an enchantment that says creatures don't untap during their controller's untap steps. And whenever a creature comes into play, untap all creatures, not just yours, all creatures. So how this works is, say you have another creature on the board like Llanowar Elves. You can then tap Vannifar, sacking the Llanowar Elves, and look for a creature with converted mana cost of 2, like these grizzly bears. Now when the bears enter, it triggers Intruder Alarm, untapping all creatures, including Vannifar. You can do this over and over again, looking for whatever creature or creatures you want in your deck and put them on the battlefield, essentially letting you win the game. There's a similar interaction with an artifact called Thornbite Staff. For 2 mana, you get an equipment that says pay 2 and tap the equipped creature to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Not that exciting, but it also gives equipped creature, whenever a creature dies, untap this creature, and then you can equip it for 4. So a bit more mana intensive, but it only untaps Vannifar, not all your opponent's creatures. So say the staff is equipped to Vannifar, you can then tap Vannifar, sacking our bears. Because the bears died, Vannifar untaps, and then we can look for our 3 converted mana cost creature. Now, both Intruder Alarm and Thornbite Staff spiked almost immediately when Vannifar was released, so if you don't have the money to buy these cards, don't worry, I have cheaper combos on the way. Now, I'm sure you already realize that untapping with Vannifar is crazy. That's where the combos are at. But I'm not going to go through every fucking untap ability in Magic because we'll be here forever. But one exception are creatures that when they enter the battlefield, they untap something. This includes stuff like Bounding Krasis, Pestermite, and Deceiver Exarch. You can then chain together a creature with similar abilities at higher converted mana costs using Vannifar. So if we tap Vannifar sacking our Exarch, we can then bring in Breaching Hippocamp, or if you're running white, Sparring Mummy, both of which untap Vannifar. You can do this again, bringing in cards like Sky Hussar if you're running white, or Zealous Constricts if you're running red. Again, both of which untap Vannifar. This allows you to go from a creature with 2 converted mana costs all the way to 6 converted mana costs in 1 turn. That's a lot of value. But Vannifar also combos off in a tribal deck, with the help of Faces of the Past. For blue and 2, you get a blue enchantment that says whenever a creature put into a graveyard from play, tap or untap all creatures that share a creature type with it. So we're going to use this in an elf tribal deck. So let's say we have an elf token on the battlefield. We'll start at 0. We can then tap Vannifar, sacking our elf token. Now, because an elf died, all elves untap, including Vannifar. We then get our creature with 1 converted mana cost, being Llanowar Elves, and we can repeat this process. Now we can cycle through our elves doing a bunch of stuff like making elf tokens, searching for lands, drawing cards, but what we want to get to is this card here, Elvish Soul Tiller. For 3 and 2 green, you get a 5/4 elf that says when it dies, you get to choose a creature type. Shuffle all creature cards of that type from your graveyard into your library. This means we can tap Vannifar, sacking our Soul Tiller. When it dies, we name a creature type being elf, and then we shuffle all our elves from our graveyard into our library, allowing us to repeat this cycle over and over again until we win the game. Now this allows us to make infinite tokens, draw our whole deck, pull all the basic lands out of our deck, but we can also make infinite mana with this combo. See, if we have a mana dork like Land of War Elves off to the side that we're not sacking to Vannifar, it too will untap whenever an elf dies. So we can tap our elves for green mana. When an elf dies, it untaps, and then we can tap it again for green mana. Repeating this every time an elf dies. And that is Prime Speaker Vannifar. Some other cards that work well with her include Illusionist Bracers, an equipment that doubles activated abilities, so you sack one creature and you get 2 out of it, and Fate Stitcher, a blue creature that can tap or untap permanents, and it has Unearth. So you can sack Fate Stitcher to Vannifar, get a creature, and then you can unearth it. When it comes back, it has haste. You tap it to untap Vannifar, and then you untap Vannifar to sack it again, looking for another creature. A nice side note is that Fate Stitcher is a wizard, so if you have Faces of the Past out when it dies, Vannifar will untap because she too is a wizard. Crazy synergies. Anyways, that's all I got for Vannifar. Are you going to use this combo? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you like this shit, like, subscribe, comment, share it around, and all of that stuff, and I will see you next time right here on the internet.